Hello, hello, and welcome to another Zelda crossover, Hero of Law. This isn't really part of the crossover competition, but it is another crossover, so I figured I might as well do it. This game autosaves after each scene. Do not turn off your console. Yeah, totally playing on the console, right? Totally. Here we go. It's so quiet. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation? No one could make such a blunder, princess. A blunder? I tend to blunder from time to time. Whatever that means. Well, I guess I should just go in, then. Oh. Oh, okay. Well. Talon's looked better, you know. March 17th, 9:37 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court. Defendant lobby number 3. Court record. You think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? I guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. By the way, this is Link talking, so none of this makes sense whatsoever. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Or is he thinking this in his own head? But still, Link can't think. Hey, you, over there. What is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But it will be soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she is currently in the prosecutor's lobby. He wanted to talk to her as well. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she'll definitely be here before the trial. Great. That'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. God, I hate waiting. Y'all ever had to wait before? Sometime later. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? See? There she is. No need to get all worked up. Malon. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No. Don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malon. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castle Town all those years ago, we've been great friends. I thought they were more than friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. Well, I guess that's just a theory, right? A game theory? If everything's fine, why do you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. I found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what'll happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so we wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it, I'd never. Yeah, we'll believe Malon. Look at her. She's so sweet and innocent. Of course I believe you. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. What's that you've got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of Father I carry around. Nice picture. I just can't believe he's gone. I wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. But she's our friend. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh? How so? Well, you look so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Well, here you go then. Malon's pictograph added to the court record. Man, I'm not good at this kind of stuff, but we're gonna do it anyway. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chattling. Idly chattling. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what happened? Guys, I give up today. Can you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there really isn't much to... The trial is starting. Defendant, attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Aw. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The prosecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later, his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Lonk. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases, and lost some too, but this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, I've got to find out who did this to Talon. Talon. He was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Well, we'll see about that one. Hey, it's Ganoon. Oh boy. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Lon Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking? Pitting me against some pathetic kid. Dragmire, huh? Oh, that is Ganon's last name, isn't it? Dragmire? You just never really hear about it. Ugh. Pathetic kid? Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? Now, this court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear the opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. That girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. Also, she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? Rat? Objection. Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Oh, she committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Bah! I assure you, old man, you'll change your opinion once you see all of the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man, until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently, he prides himself on the nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has that look. At the very least, who wears full armor to court? Very well. Please present your case to the court. Huh. You don't seem like me talking. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring Impa to the Sheikah Force to the stand. Guys, I can't read today, I'm sorry. Well, here we go. The first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please, let her have made a mistake just this once. Impa. I don't know how much gaming this is gonna be. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now, stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh, man. Very well. I'm Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Huh. Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement? I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time, for the sake of an unbiased look. Please, go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castle Town. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for a kingdom for sure. Haven't seen the man around Castle Town a number of times delivering goods. Quite. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. Listen to this song. In any case. We were alerted to the scene of the murder by the royal guard who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it is operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Sheikah force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter Malon, breathing, but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. Well, that seems a little fishy, doesn't it? That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succinct. Keep that up and perhaps you'll keep your job. Oh ho ho, Merry Christmas. I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That'd be because I've been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You're correct, Your Honor. I'm not usually involved in fieldwork like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. Isn't the judge the King? I mean, you know, that's not who I meant. I imagine the King wanted the top investigators on the job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. I love this. This music. Order! I will have order! The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime? Ha! And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt it would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. Uh-oh. Well, there's obviously a big hole in the story already. The reasons for arrest. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards the girl being the culprit. Can I object? We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. What about the princess? The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Your Honor, I'd like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report performed by the Crown's top coroner. I wonder who that would be. Autopsy report added to the court record. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. Saul, added to the record. To make sure we have the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined this ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. I see. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're going to paint Malon as some heartless monster. There is one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Interesting. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally. Who'd you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out only to be milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well. Thank you for your thoroughness, Detective. Milk. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Ah, great. How does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. Sure, why not? Witnesses will repeat their testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B. Okay. They'll just repeat it as many times as you want? That's right. I have to consider every little detail. Can't miss a thing. If I want more info about something, I can use L or Z to press the statement. Okay. Ask them a question. Grill them for info. Yep. Since the witness had to come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly, though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. Let's hope I mapped my buttons correctly, because I'm using a different console. The court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yeah, this is basically the instructions, right? Yes, I can open any time if... Yeah. After choosing the contradicting item, I'll press C up to raise an objection and present my doubts to the court. Oh, and I can not only present evidence, but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all the people involved, too. Okay. This might be pretty tough. I haven't really played Ace Detective, or whatever the heck this is supposed to be like, you know. If I need to review what's been said, I can press start. Okay. Is the defense done whispering? Sorry. If he's so upset about it, why doesn't he just press C right to skip ahead? Okay. The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Ugh. A waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmire. In any case, we're ready. Defense, please begin the cross-examination. About damn time. Cross-examination! The reasons for arrest. Okay. So we gotta look at the history. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside the ranch house. So... the worker with the alibi... What if it was the princess, though? What if she did the murdering? So, can I object to one of these? Hold it. There we go. 3 people, you say. I guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Objection? Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you'd notice she mentioned an alibi. Indeed. We're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is this alibi then? You might remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. Well, the worker Ingo was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. Is that so? Surely he could have gotten away from that for one really quick little murder. This wouldn't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement, too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all into crates, and finally load it all up into a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded and filled with milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own? Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me, but I guess I have nothing to dispute with it. That's not what I meant to dispute anyways. I was testing the buttons. It's the, Malon being unconscious, right? Let's see. The defendant was found unconscious. This was the one I meant to do. Bam. Wait, nope. Hold it. Malon fainted. Malon fainted? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake for a long time. Eventually, we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Ha! Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she had merely found the body. In any event... What? But how would she have gone unconscious? Oh boy. Well, we already... Do I have to do all of them, maybe? Well, what about the murder taking place in the house, I guess? We keep pressing the wrong button. Hold it. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house at Malon Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Bah. There wouldn't have been enough time to pull that off anyway. Likely true. Right. It sounds like the location of the crime scene is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. Well, now what? There's only so many other things to look at. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon without a doubt. Okay, well, we gotta test them all, I suppose. And how can you be so sure of this? Look at the autopsy report. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch house that could produce such a wound. And, as I've already mentioned, we also looked closely at all other sharp things on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. That still doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real maybe the real culprit... I can't speak. I can't speak, everybody! Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah? Prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So, you have nothing. What a waste of time. Do I have to look at the, there's another, court record? See up. There we go. Okay, I remember now. This evidence reveals a clear contradiction in the testimony, Your Honor. I must say, I can't say I see anything clear there. Bah. The only thing that's clear here is your incompetence. Uh-oh. Okay, I thought it was like, hinting at the saw. Okay, so now, let's look at all this stuff. Let's try the picture here. View it. And object. We can't object here. This evidence reveals a clear contradiction in the testimony, Your Honor. I must say, oh no. I suck at this. Uh-oh. Okay, we really gotta think about this. There's only so many things. Consult? So, do you see anything wrong in this testimony? Me? Yeah. It's nice to put heads together sometimes, you know? Is this like, is it because I'm failing, so they're helping me out here? Oh, I see, well... They're pretty sure that the saw is the murder weapon. Shouldn't there be something on it if it was? You're right, you can't make a deep wound like that without your weapon being marked in some way. But I already... Huh? 2 statements I could present this all to? Let's bring it to where I am. I reset to look at the instructions again. I don't think it's quite clear, but I went to the statement this time about the saw and then brought the saw out, so maybe this will be different, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. I objected with the saw. Huh, this seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene? That's correct. That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Yeah, there we go. We figured it out. Huh, is that all you have? Huh. Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. Objection. If Malon was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence. Bloody cloth added to the court record, okay? So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. But the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh, goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah force had to use a fairy on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain a sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Ho ho. Why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with the gavel, and one took the pain off immediately. Great. Glad to know they're used to such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. Or is there? I do believe this matter has been settled. I'm ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone! Fine. But you'd best treat Her Highness with respect, or I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. Order, order. I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. Yeah. This case has already made me weary with all this pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, to the stand. Zelda... We'll figure something out here. What about the broken fence, you know? That's a little suspicious. We're not doing too hot, are we? Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah! In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name an occupation, now. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh man. It is alright, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On this stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I am Zelda, current Princess of Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? Ah, it is simple, really. Malon Ranch is Hyrule's Castle Town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule's royal guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the steeds. Can I, object to this? No. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Yep. We work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Ha! Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the Crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust? We are looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. Here I go. Oh boy. Let's find a hole in this plot. Witness testimony. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I'll never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. Did she say she witnessed the scene? That seems a little... Princess Zelda, you scumbag! What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive testimony. As there's no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Objection. Hey, now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there's no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete... I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination, no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. Tee-hee. I've only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library. Huh. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations towards the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that his testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there's just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene? Yeah, that red bottle, right? That would be this, I presume. Why, yes, that is exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that Father intended to gift Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out to town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know what the princess was coming. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Desperate to latch onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it will make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. Perfume. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. Oh boy, what to do. There was like some records of stuff in time, right? The scene behind the door, continued, I guess. So, I remember being surprised how quiet everything was. Okay, since something was wrong. Here we go. So let's look at our items here. This is where she's talking about seeing her do it. So this is a bit fishy, right? Wasn't there, so she got there at 8, but this says the victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. So we gotta object with this, right? Objection! Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? This is... You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think I see why he's so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. Oh! You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived. Because the victim was already dead by then. Yeah, let's go. Order, order. Yes, you've really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There's no one else who could have done it. I remember all of the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it'll be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. How's that not enough doubt? I'll have to find something else, or this case will be over. Oh boy, now what do we do? That was the only thing I saw. Well, oh, is she gonna do it again? What I actually saw. Okay. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malon and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Huh. Zelda's a bastard. I see. You only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well. Hopefully there are no other issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it's time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmire still looks pretty angry. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. Right. Let's, you know, expose this fraud of a princess. What a jerk. Okay, let's figure this one out. We've kind of figured this out a little bit, and there's only 4 statements this time, so this should be maybe easier. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. How can I contradict any of this? I don't know. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. What? Didn't she say like something about a pool of blood? Miss Malon and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime. This has to be it, right? Because that's not true. Or maybe let's just, we can just object to see what they say, right? I won't lose any health. Are you sure Malon was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch house. What if someone was hiding there? That's just speculation, right? Don't be stupid, defense. Defense? I guess it's defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out a window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They'd have to break one to leave. Thanks a lot, Malon. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Let's go over the... Did not see the actual moment of the attack. Press for more information. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, did you exhaust your singular brain cell on that last contradiction you found? There's a death mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a death mountain out of a death molehill. We'll just go over the first one too, embellishing the truth a little bit. Why did you do that, Your Highness? There's a life on the line here. I really am sorry. I suppose I got a bit too excited about being a witness in an actual murder trial. Really now? Most people hate testifying. Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know? This is quite the break from the routine for me. Should just get a hobby then. And then we'll look at the information on that happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. How would she know that? How can you be so sure that, princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. Well, that's not true, right? How do I object to that? That's not true. Because well, no, if that could be true, but the weapon was found in Malon's hand, right? Uh-huh. What? It is obvious what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try and hide the weapon. Yes, I might have not seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my. This seems like a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragmire certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Of course, it was the last one I looked at, right? Thinking about it, I might just know why. The murder weapon was still stuck into the victim's body after all. Yeah, so let's press about that. That doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in before Malon and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose. Lon Lon Ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in is through a self-locking gate, which was damaged, right? Not very many people have a key to that gate, just the personnel and the crown. Well, someone could have forced their way in. Ugh. If you wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. Do you have any proof that another person showed up at the ranch house before the princess? Do I? I do. The testimony from Malon, but I guess that could be corroborated. Here we go. I think I did it. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. Ugh. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution had argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Just like my butt. Well, Prosecutor Dragmire, care to explain? This is the most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim. And then wiped the blade clean? That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course, I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well. Well, Zelda sucks. You idiotic girl! Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling? I'm sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I tried telling my father about anything, he always seemed so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. Screw you, Zelda. I'm sorry for the trouble I've caused you all. What to say about that? Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we'll have to strike your statements from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost their key witness. Let's go. Stinky princess. No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards. Ugh. Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Even if you're not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. Let's go. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, do you know about this? Huh. Of course I did. You did? Well, now what is it? I'll have your head for this. Order, order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be at all important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Ugh, naturally, I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then this is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense? What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely, you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far. What do I do? We gotta request evidence for sure. I really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all the evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. What if it's just like a spoon? A blade of grass? I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you, in order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it must be admitted as testimony, along with everything else she might say. Yes, Your Honor, I'm well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic foolish. Order. Very well then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Thank you. I will not let you down this time. I don't really like this. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. I guess we're about to find out. I mean, what else could we do, though? You know? But now we gotta listen to this idiot again. I agree with Dragmire. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burnt-out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. That's evidence of someone being there, right? And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well... Of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please. What next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? Well, The prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to a cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on the charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous. Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to a cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. Oh boy. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. For both your own sake and your client's. Well, now we gotta pull something out of our ass, huh? Which I can be good at doing sometimes. My findings. Well, oh man, there's a lot of things to look at here. Bleeding out. Let's talk about the look around the ranch. The strong odor, you know? What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. A really terrible... Is it gonna just be like cow feces? Really terrible stench. Surely you don't mean to say that you found the smell of horse manure suspicious. Do not be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. Oh? Okay. What was it coming from? A fire, huh? Now, let me remind you, defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morn. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. There's still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realized the same thing I did. That's what I mentioned earlier. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? Would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipments together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about this little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without anything concrete to pin on him, we'll just be able to brush it off. So you talk about the bottle straight to the detective, I suppose. Right, and she allowed you to present it? Well, I was the one to find it, and since I was going to the trial anyway... Utter ridiculousness. Yes. Please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Yes, I understand. Do you have any idea why there would be a fire at the ranch that day? No, it is pretty odd. Then it sounds like it's definitely worth looking into. Although, it'll be hard to link it to the crime in any way. In situations like these, getting as much info as possible is my best bet. Alright, let's get information on the other statements. Hold it. Huh? There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony. Yes, defense, please get to the point. Yikes. This is the Mulgara theme, remixed, I love it. Pressing for more information. Was there anything else in the room? Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor, since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course. Dad's famous cuckoo game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. Stood guard at the entrance. How about this? Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stance. While commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet, highly up above. The thought did not occur to me. Bah, of course not. Foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case... And I think this is the last one to check out. You didn't just go home? The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I suppose I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle Town to Lon Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes, I would be there in half that time, running backwards even. I love that, because backwards movement's faster. I suppose it's no surprise though, Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from the ranch. Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. Defense, I believe that is enough. It doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and the crime at all. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Naturally, I said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, the cross-examination is over. Did I lose? Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us? No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important. Leave my sight. Enough. Your Highness, if you'd allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Well, that was a waste of freaking time. Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict. But, Your Honor, there's nothing that definitively shows that Malon committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father. That is an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But, naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness. That has to be the ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double-check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all. I sure need a break. The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Oh boy. Well, I guess we could have just skipped the whole princess part. I don't know. March 17th, 11:17 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court. Yeah, allow me number 3. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. I can't believe she just mixed stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. Now, there's no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You've really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have? If you listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. Yeah, I heard him. Ah. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that'd be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh? But you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's irrelevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I'm convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I am willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it might be your only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he's the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. The thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on there. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. There's definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. Older sister? Excuse me? Princess Zelda Plus? That's right. The mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Okay, so that's why she looks different. This isn't the real Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day. And yet, no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok. People blaming the Royal Guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She'll learn, and she'll be better. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional? I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa. What is it, soldier? I'm quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has just sent word of a new development. Let's go? Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address? They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess back to the castle. Roger. Okie dokie. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, it's still unopened. Wouldn't it be warm, though? Warm milk? Oh, thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. Milk. I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Is it fake milk? Huh? You're right. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments? Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste it as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I'd better make some notes about this in the court record. Note about the shipment's return. And the milk. Alright, we got some new evidence, let's go. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. Let's go. So it comes down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Time to turn this situation around. Got our health back, which I don't remember if we actually lost any. Maybe 1 heart. Court is back in session for the trial of Malon of Malon Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I'd have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. The matter of motive. For, naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. The prosecution calls the ranch worker, Ingo, to the stand. Ingo. He's a bad guy. Look at this guy. Ha. It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court, and he wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. What does that have to do with anything? Quiet, defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, Great Honorable Prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mine Lon Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly sure to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at this ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silo single-handedly. Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee, you're privy to some inside information, is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we're like a big family. That sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're gonna be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. Time for a story. Sorry that I gave him this voice, it's just what I went with. I don't know, I don't do voices. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malon. Talon became a life tenant with Malon, meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. And there you have it, testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence. We have the defendant caught red-handed at the crime of the scene, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? Bah, I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castle Town Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Inheritance document added. Mr. Ingo, why would you? You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant. But of course, ask whatever you like. The hard-working Ingo can handle it. Very well, defense. Please begin. Oh boy. Alright, time to cross-examine all around town. We'll figure this out. I mean, Ingo looks pretty suspicious right now, huh? At least in my eyes. So yeah, let's go through the testimony. Signed over the ranch to his daughter, Malon. How long ago was this exactly? 3, 4 days? I'm not sure of the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Talon was getting on in years. Better to take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Malon? He's telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by partly witness? Talon became a life tenant. Let's check it. So, Malon hadn't become the ranch owner yet? Well, of course not. Haven't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folk into retirement homes the moment ownership signed to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision. That's horrible. I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing them. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was... But why would Malon want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castle Town. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Why? She's often slacking on the job while I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job, too. Ho ho ho. I do recall a quite funny story about the Lon Lon ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. Yeah, I guess that happened. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal cuckoo, apparently. Jeez. Well, there you go. I'm the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? Do you really think Malon would go that far? Huh. I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her. That's alright. Well, if Malon didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she'd still inherit this ranch. Muhaha, that's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the Royal Guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes, Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds went over this drive to help the kingdom truly. A shame. Yes, naturally the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malon have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You think should have chosen any other day. Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He's telling her he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. Well, that's a little suspicious, huh? He was listening. After the visitation was over, he'd head to Castle Town to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? That's questionable. Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that. There was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? Well, it means he was listening, right? So he added to testimony. There was an argument about the inheritance? That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requests it be added to the testimony. Very well, witness, please do so. I'd be happy to, Your Honor. Yeah, so now we can listen to him overhearing the argument. About what time did this happen? First thing in the morning. I was headed out to get to the silo to start the day's work. I just walked out the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me. Do you remember any specifics about what was said? Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like, I'm real sorry, Malon, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I don't care. What about me, father? How can you do this to me? Malon, this isn't just about you, it's for the good of the entire kingdom. But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up and laugh if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are here, and Ingo's always around to help with the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't he? Yeah, Ingo's awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over. Okay. What a stirring reenactment. I'll keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. Malon would never want to sell this ranch. Well, of course she'd say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust a thing she says. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that could refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there'd be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter. Continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. See the rest of it. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that gold necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift? Why yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. But that was grabbed at the last minute, wasn't it? It's horrible. Telling him such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. Was that last statement important? Yes, it was. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add the statement about the perfume to the testimony. Bah, what are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is relevant, but I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to your testimony. Alright, we press that further, right? The perfume? Where did you see this? I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malon on the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much on his salary for me, the hard work in Ingo. I get up and leave to do the work at break of dawn every day, you know? What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work, thinking about it. Not a single one? Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. Oh boy, how do we figure this out? There's a lot to go through. Well, we gotta look at our court record, all the items. Oh dear, we've added a lot, haven't we? How do we bring up the milk, though? And the fire, right? We gotta work this perfume angle, but how do we do this? Do we just bring up the perfume bottle? That wouldn't make sense, though, was it? Perfume. Witness. What is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought for Malon by her father, correct? What else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes, far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? It was for Zelda. No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit, I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Because he bought it that morning, right? Earlier in the trial, Malon mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malon? It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Oh no. Somebody's movements? The princess's testimony. Definitely not Talon's taste in gifts. What will it be? Somebody's movements. What do they mean by that? Yeah, let's do that. Someone's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then. Defense, who is this person? Mr. Ingo. Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is... Ingo. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Ah! Wah! Order. The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you go to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was working in the silo all day. I remember, I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One word against another's. Defense, do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true? Aw, crap. Smell the perfume. I don't think that would do anything. We could ask the store? Find the receipt. Do we have a receipt? When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Let's go. Your Honor. Yes? What is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Oh boy. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot writing on this. From Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Ah yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric-looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. He's got an opinion on everything, huh? Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead! Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons! Oh, the balloons! That fool popped one right in my face! That means he was shopping for perfumes too. Prosecutor Dragmire, enough. Continuing on, purchased item. 1 bottle of rosy rupee land. Oh my. This is quite the price. Why would I have to... Your Honor, please. The date of purchase. Ah yes, right. Date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th, the day of the murder. Gah! Uh-oh, Ingo. Not looking too hot, buddy. Order. Yes, we got him. Whew. I think we're finally getting somewhere. Bah, this still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Uh-oh. Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on. You think we're gonna believe that? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims I visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day. Huh, my movements? Well, alright, there's not a whole lot to say, though. It's unfortunate that he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. There's our chance for some bullshittery. Alright, testimony number 2. My non-suspicious movements. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. Now, at one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. And wow, was that detective one fine woman. Impa? Impa's aight, I suppose. See? I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. Oh, we'll figure it out. We gotta cross-examine everything once again, as we always do. What were you doing? Working on shipments and filling orders. We send out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars? Naturally. Everyone loves a good drink, you know. And her milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable. I see. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though. Indeed. Talon and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force's investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah, you Hylians ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the Grudo's noble pursuit, a real man's drink. The real man's drink? Aren't most of the Gerudo women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water? Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see? I got very thirsty and... Did he say he got milk? No, okay. Yeah, a glass of water. You didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling? No. It wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see? I just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So, what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Moo-ha-ha. Great. What happened after that, witness? Oops. Didn't mean to do that. And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Bah, you don't know the might of the great Ingo. Hut, yeah, pow, wham. I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting into those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many, and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. That's where you get a heart piece. Anyway, that's not important. The point is... Oops. Are you sure? Sure as can be, moo-ha-ha. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered. Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such, I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. Is what he just said important? It is important. That means he sleeps in the house, right? Your Honor, I'd like the witness to add his last statement to his testimony. What? What are you trying to pull now? Very well. Witness, please amend your statement. Yeah, fine, whatever. So I was about him sleeping in the house? Couldn't you have stayed in an inn? What? Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? Phew, you lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. Alright, last statement. Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? Oh yeah, this is about Impa. That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps, when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, I'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker Ingo, see through your schemes. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. It's time to press for more details. He's surely to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Piece of evidence. Let's try and... Let's try doing Ingo. See if this does anything. Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What? What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in? That's right. Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Oh, I didn't even get that one. No. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Ah. The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to sully those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Grr. Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new, yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to be court dressed like a bum. Moo ho 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 ho. Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself? Do I accept that explanation? Absolutely not. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. Well, what? Oh? How can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today, or get out. I think I got it, actually. Check it. Check it out. He's wearing them in here. Yes. He's got the clothes, right? I'd like to turn the court's attention to this. Ah. Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Oh, it reminds me of the idyllic days I spent with my What about this pictograph, defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This pictograph is from Malon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today. Gah! Order. I'll have order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. Gee. There. I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Unless someone weasels out for him. Isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. But he just said he bought them. Oh. I mean, oh. Oh ho. Oh ho ho ho. Yes, of course, I need to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making up excuses on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Oh. Defense. The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? This is I really need to think this through. Think. Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Why would he be doing that? Ingo is the murderer. If it's not Malon, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did, if I want to think Malon is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? Talon's blood got on them. Of course. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on him. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? They were thrown in the fire! Aha! That makes sense. It's all coming together. Let's go. The Triforce of truth! Yeah, that's what it is. Ingo. Burned. His clothes. That's it. This explains everything. What the heck? Hey, I'm down with it. I believe I can offer an alternate explanation. Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No! It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit, and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since, is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah force would have found them, and we would be trying someone else for murder right now. Why, you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Oh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so, he used this to dispose of them. The fire, oh yeah, the oil! Ha, take that! Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess's, that mysterious fire. Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No! Hold on. What drivel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. How can we prove it? Witness testimony. Too busy for murder. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor, innocent Ingo. But the milk shipments returned. Wrong address. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do in the time is preposterous. That's right, the great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I must find it. Oh, we know. We know. Oh boy. Cross-examination. Too busy for murder. Let's go to... Okay, right here. Number 3? There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments and killed Talon. He didn't. Witness. Why? What is it now? I overheard an intriguing detail during that last recess. It seems the address on one of your yesterday's milk shipments wasn't written correctly. You must have been rushing. That's how you did it. Bah, I haven't heard anything about an issue with the shipment address. But I'll play along. Suppose you're right about it. Writing an address only takes a few seconds. Even if it was reduced to a single swift stroke of the pen, it wouldn't have saved much time at all. Certainly not enough to both commit a murder and cover it up. We got the milk. It wasn't just the address. Ingo must have rushed the entire shipment. By what method? You say he somehow completed the entire shipment more quickly, then prove it with evidence. Unfortunately for you, defense, I must agree with the good prosecutor. This alone doesn't prove how enough time may have been saved. Don't you have anything else? Yes. Grr, I thought I had him for sure. But it looks like I'll need something stronger to really pin him down. Can I not show the milk as well? Let's try it. The milk. Ah, but did you though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure of it looked that way. What are you getting at, defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk? For me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But, to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. You've probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. What? Water? I have to agree, this is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ugh. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Order, order. Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all he had to do is milk fewer of the cows. To save enough time without ruining the taste too much, I guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No! Talon. Let me stop you right there. I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you? Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now, we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet, there is a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Ribato. The murder weapon. You lacked a murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it could have been the saw. Do I have to refute this? I have to talk about it, I guess. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, and she was using the saw while her father was being murdered, it couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? No? No, the saw was the murder weapon. Truly. Well, if that's the case, present some proof. Enlighten us on how it could have been in two places at the same time. I really need to think about this. I don't know. Okay, I agreed with him instead, so he's going on to his next statement. Where would the supposed other murder weapon have even come from? Couldn't he have used any old thing? Either answer the question, defense, or this discussion is over. Okay, now I can show him the inventory list, right? Anywhere Ingo could have gotten a weapon, form will do. I'll worry about the exact details later. Yeah, here we go. Now we show them for this is what it's for. Ranch inventory. Haha. Have you forgotten this murder happened on a ranch? There were plenty of sharp things on site. Ho ho. That's simply impossible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Alright. Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? You know? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like the Zoras can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah Force employs people for just this task. Also, as Lon Lon Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. Well, I guess that is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Could Ingo have just disposed of it? I don't know. You try that? Huh, that's impossible, you see? No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. How can you be so sure the inventory is accurate? Bah, use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in that order. He would have double, even triple-checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... we can try using the ranch inventory again, perhaps? I've tried almost everything so far. This worked. The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? That would be... something about the inventory itself. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Ho ho. You can't just go around making such general statements, defense. Point out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. It's the one saw, right? Because there's only one. Okay, maybe not. The only thing that's off here is your brain, and there's nothing suspicious there. Well, there's gotta be something suspicious. Hold on, let's try again. There's no reason to doubt this list before, but now that I have suspect in mind... Yeah, let's try something else. We'll get to it then. Yeah. Ingo? Maybe... because yeah, Ingo did it, right? Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. That doesn't matter. Aha! Nothing could have left the branch. Is that true, though? Wouldn't Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Bah, obviously we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? And this is where I do the crates. The shipment. Milk shipments, right? This has to be it. Yeah, are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous! Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Dim's name are you blabbling about? We're talking about bog-standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Or could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked... the contents of the crates. Maybe the crates themselves? Try that one. It's the crates themselves. The killer used a big chunk of wood to kill the victim, and then nailed it to the crates to conceal it. Well, that's a reach. No, the weapon was definitely metal. No straight bit of lumber could create a wound like that. Plus, if the weapon was wooden, he wouldn't have just burned it together with his clothes to ensure he'd never find it. Exactly, right? Shouldn't he have just done that? Alright. Defense, your entire argument hinges on this point, you know. Try to think through your answer a bit more carefully next time. Uh-oh. Down to one heart. Well, there's another option. The contents of the bottles. Yeah, let's try that one. There's one place inside the crates that the Sheikah couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments? Oh! That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Man, this is a reach though, isn't it? Now, wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. How can you be so sure? So is it in the return crate? Do you even know how much milk on average Milk Bar uses each day? All those shipments must have certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure. Choked on it even. If they took too large a swig, it would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. So maybe we show him the returned crates? Those probably haven't been searched, right? Aha! You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not too long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. No! Indeed. If you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now, that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it? That badly. It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. Cool! I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried I'd start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete, and I got all my health back. Let's go. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you're even asking about it. This evidence easily explains your motive. The thing, the ranch inheritance document. The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter, Malon of Lon Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah. What? You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malon for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. It gave you an alibi so that Malon would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malon would go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no! What are you talking about? Talon singing the ranch over to me? Signing? Preposterous! Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, well, well. Let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... Well, yeah, that one, right? The red one. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the regular wound pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Grr. Oh, I've had it. Fine, fine. You wanna know why? You wanna know why I really killed that scumbag? No, no, what are you? So you admit it? Yes, yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish, without any reason, fired, farewell, we don't need you anymore? What? But that doesn't make any sense. Ho ho, don't lie. I heard it all. I was just returning back for another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Malon and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malon, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it. Wow, what a surprise. Order. The witness will cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Wait just a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl. Want to apologize for what you've done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? Time to see. We've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry somewhat about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Well, now there's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. Uh-oh. That, you were planning, what? A vacation? For me? And I did, no, it can't be so. Please say it ain't so. Chicken. Man, those chickens are just hitting him right in the nuts. Oh, big chicken. Nice. Okay, I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. The chickens heard, and they did not like. We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstandings or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him! An utter idiot, dressed like a clown. Jeez, he's really laying into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost. The prosecutions ran aside. I think it is time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I'm very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I'm very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Oh, thanks. Huh. Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Hylia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malon of Lon Lon Ranch not guilty. Woo, we did it. Look at Ganondorf, all angy. Court is adjourned. Let's go. Oh boy. Back in the Grand Court. Or the lobby of the Grand Court. We did it! I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. It's time to celebrate. Your dad's dead. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you. Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? But I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There is no need to bow, after what I've done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury's, pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you. The young lady over there finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. Oh no. It was the bottle, right? Take that! The bottle? Well, it's true. Without this, and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And, really, your obviously false testimony helped us to... Youch! Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malon isn't too upset. Well, sure. Ten Hut? We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What? Is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then. My duties call, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust that I'll be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. It's Dragmire. You! Hello! Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that blasted detective go? To have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. Dramatic much? He looks about ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there was some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there's some truth in what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cocoa on fire. Mark my words, she'll regret what she's done for generations! Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course, I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. Yay. And so ended a very personal case for me. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malon continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I'd lived in a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. And there we go. That is the Zelda crossover Hero of Law. We got to be an attorney today. Not much of like your, regular Zelda type game, but it was still pretty interesting. I mean, it was really well put together and stuff. I really liked some of the animations to the characters and everything. And we even got some ending credits here, which I'm not going to bother you guys with. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I was going to say the episode, but this is just a video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope to see you guys again very soon. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye. Later.